Good afternoon, friends. You are listening to Full Toss on Radio Dil, online radiodil.com for iPhone downloads. Application known as Radio Dil. You can also listen to us on your regular phones. Just dial in the number 408-418-5000 for Android phones. Application known as Tune In Radio. Phone number in the studio 732-800-1008. आप सुन रहे रेडियो दिल दिल से दिल तक. Time in the studio is 2:06 March 2nd 2013. This is your host Amit. Would like to welcome all the listeners, and above all, Amanat, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much. The days of March are here. So it's a new month, new test. What more can one ask for?
Indeed, sir. And so many matches are going on across the globe, Amanat. And as usual, today's show will be no different than what we normally do. This is what I have as a game plan for today. We'll start off our discussion with India versus Australia. The second test that began last night for us in Hyderabad.
Yes.
We'll talk about Australia versus India. We'll also talk about South Africa and Pakistan.
Yes.
West Indies and Zimbabwe. And another exciting series that is happening in New Zealand. New Zealand is hosting England.
England, yes.
And I know you have a lot of interesting things to talk about that series as well, Amanat.
Yeah.
We have our This Day in Cricket segment. I also have a few Did You Knows related to the India-Australia subject. So I'll try to squeeze them in as time permits. And friends, just a quick reminder that you can also log on to our blog fulltosscricket.com. And we're also on YouTube now.
We have a YouTube channel where all the shows are recorded and hosted, and you can listen to it clip by clip if need be.
And what Amanat has done, he has done a fantastic job. And you can actually click on it's segmented.
Yes.
Is that the right word I'm using, Amanat?
I would say it's segmented.
Right? You can click on a particular time slot. For example, if you want to listen to any of our discussions on Pakistan and South Africa, for example.
Which started at the 28th minute.
Exactly. So you can just click on that. So job well done, my friend.
Thank you.
Amanat, we'll get right into India and Australia. I'll quickly go over the scorecard with our listeners, those of you who have missed this match completely, or the first innings anyway. Here's how things unfolded. This is the second test, India and Australia, that is being played at the Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium, Opal, Hyderabad. This stadium is, I believe, 40-45 minutes outskirts of Hyderabad.
Yes.
Beautiful stadium.
It's
only the third test being hosted there, right?
It's a new stadium.
Yeah.
It's a new stadium there.
So, very, very good stadium. The facilities, they look pretty good to me, Amanat. I have not seen that stadium yet, but it looks pretty good. Here's how things unfolded. Australia won the toss, elected to bat.
Okay.
Good decision?
I would say so.
Indeed, sir.
If I was Clark, I would
Absolutely. Absolutely right. David Warner along with Cowan, they came to open the innings, and it was Bhuvaneshwar Kumar.
The new boy.
The new boy, he struck at the in the very beginning. He got rid of Warner, Cowan, and Watson beautifully. I mean, in the first, I think Australia lost their first wicket at the score of 10. At 15, they lost Cowan. The first wicket to go was David Warner. Oh, unbelievable. What a delivery that was.
Unbelievable.
I have not seen Stumps doing cartwheel in a while.
For an Indian bowler.
For an Indian bowler.
After the days of Kapil Dev, I have not seen.
Yes, indeed, sir. It's a rare scene. Rare sight these days. Unbelievable spell from Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and this is how things. Let me just go with the scorecard, Amanat, and then we'll get into the bits and pieces. David Warner 6. He was bowled by Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Edward Cowan was also LBW bowled by Kumar at the score of 4. Philip Hughes. That was a very good catch by Mahendra Singh Dhoni of Ashwin.
Good reflex
on a second attempt.
A reflex catch.
Exactly. Hughes was out at the score of 19. Oh, this was a big wicket. Shane Watson.
Absolutely. He was going great guns.
He was going great guns indeed, sir. And Kumar trapped him. In fact, it was a shorter delivery, Amanat.
Yes.
A shorter delivery that I think maybe lack of bounces, but it just Watson was expecting it to rise a little bit, and he went ahead with that shot.
The ball kept a bit low.
Yeah.
And it was, what should I say, fairly aggressive on the part of Watson too. It was not too short of a delivery, by the way. The ball was not too short pitched, but he went for that stroke. He didn't get the bounce which he expected, and he paid the price.
Michael Clarke, what an innings by him again. What an innings, 91. He was bowled by Jadeja eventually. But before that, he definitely did the damage along with the wicketkeeper Wade, who scored a brilliant 62. I saw both of their half centuries last night before I called it a day. And Wade was bowled by Harbhajan Singh. It was Kumar took the catch. And following that, Henriquez, who performed so brilliantly in Chennai, unfortunately only managed to get 5-13 for Maxwell. That he was an inclusion this time.
He's making his debut.
Peter Siddle, 0. Pattinson, 1 not out. And Doherty, 0. Michael Clarke declared at 2:37 for 9. And this morning I asked you, what was the reason for him to go ahead and go for declaration? You already wrapped up the innings, and I like what you said. I want you to tell the listeners also.
See, Clarke was holding the fort, and when he got out he only has 9 down. When he got out at 2:36, he came back to the pavilion and felt that there wouldn't be too much of a upside if the last pair continued to bat. Maximum they would get about 10 runs. But with time running out, if suppose there was enough time during the day, he would not have declared. But he took a gamble and said, okay, let me put the Indian batsman under pressure.
It was indeed a gutsy move.
Very gutsy move. He declared and gave his bowlers 3 overs to take a shot at Sehwag and Murali Vijay. And as you know, they have performed very poorly in the first test.
Yes, and I think that was also playing on Clarke's mind.
Yes, I think that was it was a gutsy move on the part of Clarke. See, he's trying to infuse morale within his team. His team needs a boost.
It's a young team, Amarnath.
It's a young team. It's a new team. It's a
very, very brand new team. If you saw the amount of, except of Michael Clarke, nobody really has played test matches that much yet.
Not that many test matches. If you add up the number of, compared to the days of Hayden, Gilchrist, Langer, Ponting, if you add the number of test matches under the belt.
By the way, Hayden was commentating yesterday along with VVS Lakshman.
Yes, and he was wearing a BCCI blazer.
Yes. And what I also liked yesterday is they were showing Harbhajan from 98.
Yes, and
Harbhajan today.
Yes.
Coming back, speaking of him, Harbhajan Singh. I don't think he has anything left to prove now. He's somebody who's already taken 400 plus wickets, and he's playing his 101st Test match now. But yes, for over the last year or so, more than that, Amarnath, he's been struggling with his form. Harbhajan back in the attack. You and we were talking yesterday before the match started, and we were going back and forth on the test. I was texting you. I was expecting Ojha, being his home ground. I was expecting him to come because he was a surprise package for the Australians also. They have not played him. So I was expecting Ojha to come in and either drop one of the seamers. And that would have made you have 4 spinners.
4 spinners, true.
Playing that. That hasn't happened
in a long time.
In a very, very long time, Amarnath. Again, considering that you consider Jadeja as a genuine spinner.
Assuming that. Now, coming to this match, if you say, was this the right team? See, you can't argue against success. With this team, you won the Chennai test. So I think Dhoni would prefer to keep the same team, especially when you won, unless he's got very strong reasons to drop anyone. And if at all you have a strong reason to drop anyone, it'll be the openers. He decided to give the openers a second chance or a repeat performance. Coming to the bowlers, I would say the second spell of Harbhajan in the second innings was very good. He had really seemed to be getting back his old magic. And given the fact that he's not too old, he's just still about 32.
Yes, he's not that old right now.
He's not that old. He made his debut for India as a 17-year-old.
Yeah, 17-year-old.
So he's got still a little bit more gas in the tank. And I think psychologically, Harbhajan always will worry the Australians, especially on the Indian wickets. Harbhajan represents to the Australians a fear factor.
What in comparison with our Ashwin? To me, it looked like Ashwin was going after wickets. I did not get the same feeling from Harbhajan on that. As a matter of fact, even with Ishant Sharma, I didn't get that feeling. Though he bowled brilliantly in spells.
His first spell was very good.
His first spell was
First ball, in fact, was excellent. First ball, he bowled like an off break.
Yes.
And the batsman was completely beaten. And I would say the team is reasonably good. Too bad Pragyan Ojha is not getting his chance in his home ground. If Ashwin had not a great performance, I would have dropped him. But he had a phenomenal performance. He deserves to be in the team. But he didn't do anything much yesterday. You could see the difference.
In fact, he didn't bowl an hour after lunch.
Yeah, he bowled about 15 overs, the least among the 5 bowlers.
Here's my question to you, Amarnath. And a couple of weeks ago, we were on air and we were talking about the attitude of, especially we were talking about Indian team's attitude. When Australia they were already 4 wickets down. Why not go with Ashwin at that time, add some more pressure, look for wickets at that time when you have Matthew Wade who came in and who was struggling at that time. And if you remember in Chennai also, Ashwin took care of him.
True.
So why not? Why would you wait for so long to bring Ashwin back again? Why? I don't know. It just felt like India had the match drifted away from them at post lunch hour.
Post lunch hour, yes. I would say the morning session definitely belonged to India.
Yes, indeed.
And in the afternoon session,
it was all Clark and Wade.
They scored 105 runs in that session. Somehow, as you rightly put, we seem to be losing the grip in the first hour. Dhoni's moves were a bit strange, to say the least. But, well, he has to take the gamble. He decides he's the general on the field.
I'm not criticizing Dhoni. Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing him at all. What I'm saying, what I'm trying to convey the point here is that attitude, the killer attitude.
See, the killer attitude is again very indefinable. It's when you win or bundle them out, immediately everybody says you've got the killer attitude. I would say if getting Australia out within 237 is a very good performance. That itself signifies a killer attitude. I wouldn't really. You got to expect a certain partnership. You cannot win every battle. To win a war, there are some battles you have to give up.
Some of the shots Clark was playing was absolutely phenomenal, Amarnath. It was just so good to see him play. And he implied the same tactics as Dhoni in Chennai. He did not let any bowlers settle down.
No, he was very dominating.
Very dominating.
And I was very lucky to watch Clark right from his first test in 2004. I had gone to Bangalore to see him.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I didn't expect at that time that he would be such a superstar. He has become a superstar.
There is one person who definitely thought he would be, and that is our third co-host, Vijay. I remember before even Clark made his debut. We made our debut in 2003 when India toured Pakistan. That's when we started Full Toss. And around I would say mid-season, Vijay already started talking about Michael Clark because Australia had sent him months before the series started in India. So Clark was being groomed in India already. And at that time, I remember Vijay talking about it, that the way he plays, he's going to go leaps and bounds.
He plays spin phenomenally well. He's one of the few batsmen. I would rate him in the class of Peterson when it comes to playing spin. Peterson knows how to play spin. So does Michael Clark. And he's been having a purple patch. He's been scoring consistently against all teams like South Africa, India, and everybody except England. His weak point has been the Ashes series. He has flopped in the last 3 Ashes series, and it is a high time for him to be considered truly great. He has to go to England and score a couple of centuries, not just 1 century. Or in the 5 tests, he has to put at least 400 runs in the 5 test series for him to be considered legitimate, to be talked in the same breath as Hashim Amla. In fact, yesterday somebody was querying Ravi Shastri.
I heard that. I saw that, yes.
Whom would you rate, Hashim Amla, as better? As of this moment, I would rate Ravi Shastri was being very diplomatic. I can understand him being on the commentary box. But I would rate Hashim Amla better than Clark because of this performance in England. But in India, yesterday he batted phenomenally. Even
in Chennai, Clark batted superb.
His batting average in these 3 innings is about 84.
That's outstanding.
84 is his average. All three, without any not outs. His average is 84.
As of now, day one stumps. India trailed by 232 runs with 10 wickets remaining in their first innings. Your take on day two, Amarnath? With Vijay and Sehwag. Vijay is not out at 0. He's faced 12 deliveries, and Sehwag being Sehwag, he scored a boundary. He's faced 6 deliveries. He's not out at 4. India is 5 without a loss.
India needs to consolidate. They've had a good start. Out of the 3 sessions, India won 2 sessions handsomely. The first session and the third session. Given the fact that Australia had made a good recovery from 4 down at 62, they had come to about 208. Wrapping up the last 5 wickets within 30 runs was a very good performance by India. Today, India needs to score at least 250 to 270 runs. 250 to 270 runs, playing at a modest pace, and not lose more than 3 to 4 wickets. Anything beyond 4 wickets, and if they score less than 250, they wouldn't be able to dictate terms. They need to score 450, declare with 200 runs in the pocket, and again put Australia under pressure. Remember, if for some reason India does not put up a good total, India has to bat on a 4th innings wicket.
That's not going to be an easy thing. If you remember yesterday, you see the dust balls.
The pitch is much worse than Chennai's.
And in fact, the way the pitch was behaving yesterday, this was only day 1. Day 4, it's going to be a very, very challenging task.
In fact, the curator was doing Aarti. They were doing a special ritual to hoping the pitch stays and behaves well. Well, India's got its work cut out. Same thing on the contra side. Australia, if they can manage to contain India, they have a chance. So it will come down to days 2 and 3 to decide who gets the leadership role in this match. As of now, odds are with India. Couple of things for India they have to keep in mind. Australian bowling attack is not that strong as compared to what England had. England had Swan and Monty Panesar and Anderson. Those 3 bowlers are far superior to any of the bowlers whom Australia has. I don't think Xavier Doherty may be a fairly good spinner. He looks legitimate. I don't think Glenn Maxwell is a quality test bowler. And I'm not so sure about Henriques or any of the other fast, except for Pattinson. Pattinson can take wickets. He can do that.
Pattinson can take wickets. Cyril can take wickets, Amarnath.
But Cyril really didn't.
But looking at the pitch now, on day 2, based on the pitch. Now, you know what? But coming back to Bhuvi, I loved his spell. The first 9 overs, the first spell that he had. Oh my God, he had batsmen in 2 minds.
Did you notice that all the youngsters are doing well now?
Yes, they are doing well.
Bhunesh Kumar, Cheteshwar Pujara, all that. And I think some credit has to go.
As a matter of fact, I believe it was second spell, he had Clark and Wade in the same over almost.
Yes.
In fact, Clark edged it. It did not carry through to Dhoni.
Yes.
I think within few yards the ball just dropped. And in the very same over, it was a very, very good LBW appeal. No, it wasn't an LBW appeal. It was in fact a catch dropped by Pujara.
Pujara dropped a shot.
The forward short leg.
Yes.
So they did have a few escapes there. But overall, Clark and Wade played brilliantly. They played spin very well. They did not let the spinners dominate them at all, as in fact it was the other way around.
They were dominating the bowling.
I like the way even Wade was coming down the pitch, getting into the line of the ball and hitting the shots. Clark, as we all know, is superbly, he does that. Well, friends, you are listening to Full Toss. This is your host Amit, along with Amarnath on Radio Dil, online, radiodil.com. It's a free website, and listeners can also listen to us on their regular phones. Amarnath, they dial in the number 408-418-5000. 408-418-5000 is the number. And phone number in the studio, 732-800-1008. I have a few did you knows, Amarnath, since we're talking about India and Australia.
Okay.
Did you know Matthew Hayden Ricky Ponting hold the record for the most century stands in Test wins. That is 14.
Against India?
Overall, not only India, and also followed by Ponting and Justin Langer, who have 12 century partnership in wins. And in the third position, Rahul Dravid and Sachin Tendulkar. They are the most prolific batting pair at third on the list with 11 century stands in Test victories, Amarnath.
11 century stands in Test victories. So
this is overall, not only India and Australia. This is overall I'm talking about.
Okay.
Now, coming back to spinners, we're talking about spinners.
Okay.
54 is the number of wickets taken by Derek Underwood in India. This is against India now. Spinners, visiting team spinners against India.
In India?
In India.
Derek Underwood has taken 54.
54 wickets, Amarnath.
That's amazing.
And this is the highest number of wickets picked up by any visitor spinner in India, followed by Richie Benaud.
Benaud, okay.
He's second, who's picked up 52 wickets in just 8 tests, Amarnath.
Yeah, he visited in 56 and 59.
Yes. I read a very good article, and we'll talk about that, not in this show, but in coming shows we'll talk about that. There was an article on Cricinfo yesterday about the beginning of Australian teams coming and visiting India, how it was difficult in the previous days, and how Australia wasn't keen on playing India or any of the subcontinental teams. And since I saw Richie Benaud's name there, I remember he had to alter his run-up. He had to do work on a lot of variations to play in Indian conditions. Because just before that, in England, they had a pretty rough tour.
Yes, they lost the series.
They lost the series. And look what Richie did. He picked up 52 wickets in 8 tests, Amarnath. Unbelievable, right?
8 tests and 52 wickets. It's amazing.
Well, these are the Did You Knows, and you can also find this Did You Knows on our blog, fulltosscricket.com. Amarnath will move on to This Day in Cricket segment.
Okay.
We'll talk about events in sport. We'll start out with that.
Okay.
March 2nd, 1936.
March 2nd, 1936.
South Africa versus Tasmania.
South Africa versus Tasmania? Okay.
Bradman. I'm talking about Bradman now.
Oh, okay. South Australia.
South Australia, not South Africa.
South Australia.
I meant to say South Australia.
Okay. That's a Sheffield Shield match.
Yeah. And 46 fours and 4 sixes.
By Bradman.
He scores 369 in 253 minutes, Amarnath.
369 in just about 2.5 hours.
46 fours and 4 sixes.
Unbelievable.
March 2nd, 1996.
1996. Okay, March 2nd, 1996 is World Cup. India, something about...
India versus Sri Lanka match.
We lost. Sachin scored.
Sachin scored 137.
Okay.
But India still lost that match.
Yeah, I remember that.
Amarnath, we move on to the birthdays now.
Birthdays.
Born March 2nd, 1912.
1912. So he would have played in the 30s.
Absolutely correct. South African pace bowler.
Pace bowler.
Arthur Beaumont Langton.
Langton, yes. He played in that timeless test.
He's got three initials before his last name.
Yeah.
ABC Langton. Arthur Beaumont C. Langton.
He played in the timeless test, I remember.
Yes. Also,
along with Vander Bijl. I remember.
Yeah, we talked about him last week.
Vander Bijl.
Yes. We talked about him.
I remember reading that scorecard.
Also born March 2nd, 1923.
23.
A Kiwi. He's played 3 tests. Don Taylor.
Don Taylor. Doesn't ring a bell.
Born March 2nd, 1955.
1955.
Steve Small. New South Wales.
New South Wales, okay.
And also born March 2nd, 1977. Ex-English captain. Still play. Andrew Strauss.
Okay.
Andrew Strauss.
77, if I add 25, comes to 2002. English captains, it was not Michael Vaughan, from what you tell me.
You're absolutely correct, sir. Well, friends, you are listening to Full Toss with Amit and Amarnath on Radio Dil, online radiodil.com. Amarnath, after we come back from our short drinks break, we'll talk about New Zealand and England.
Okay.
We still have to talk about South Africa and Pakistan. West Indies, Zimbabwe, they're also playing, Amarnath.
Yes.
So we'll talk about them, and time permitting, we'll get into other issues. And before we wrap up the show, I'll definitely have your take on India and Australia. We'll circle back again. Go ahead.
We have about 3-4 series to cover.
Yes, indeed, sir.
Right now, today, a match is going on between West Indies and Zimbabwe.
Yes. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the second half. Well, friends, stay tuned. We'll be right back after these short messages from our sponsors. Welcome back, friends. You are listening to Full Toss. This is your host, Amit, along with Amarnath on Radio Dil, online RadioDil.com. Friends, I'm in the studio. It's 2:33. Amanath, as promised, we're back after a short drinks break.
Sure.
And in the first half, Amanath, we spent most of our time talking about India and Australia. We had our This Day in History, Did You Know segment. Now, Amanath will talk about West Indies and Zimbabwe. There's a T20 match that is going on currently. So let's update our it's at innings break. Let me go ahead and update our listeners on that scorecard. Also, Zimbabwe batting first in 20 overs after losing 8 wickets, scored 130. 49 for Waller and 34 for Irvin. Zimbabwe, not. I guess everybody else, if you look at the scorecard, Amanath, is all single digits.
Well, they've scored 130, which is not too bad. But 10 more runs would have given them a better total. But let us see how well they can defend it.
Tino Best, 3 for 18.
The fast bowler, Badri. I'm talking about Samuel Badri, 1 for 27, 2 wickets for Sunil Narayan and also for Dwayne Bravo. 2 wickets each. Sunil Narayan, again, just 17 runs in 4 overs.
Yes.
So he's clear proof that a spinner has a role to play in 2020.
In fact,
he's the clear proof that a good spinner is worth his weight in gold in a 2020 game. Purely.
Have you seen him play in the Big Bash League?
And I didn't see in the Big Bash League. I've seen in the IPL for Kolkata Knight Riders.
In Big Bash League also, I've seen him play in that league also, and yeah, he does wonders, Amanath. He's definitely got as a T20 bowler. He definitely has that zest of taking wickets and keeping batsmen at the crease. Go ahead.
He looks very innocuous. That is the most. That every batsman is going to think, I'm going to hit him out of the park.
Not going to happen.
He doesn't have any very convincing run up. He comes and just tweaks the ball. He doesn't look like he is rolling his shoulder and imparting massive spin like Shane Warne. He doesn't. Neither like Shane Warne or Harbhajan. He doesn't seem to have a very energetic action.
No.
He does have an energetic action.
But he'll let his deliveries talk on his behalf.
It's unbelievable how he has been managed to perform consistently. He's not been just a one-series wonder.
Now for West Indies, it's a pretty balanced team, Amanath, with Simmons, Charles, Bravo, both the Bravos, Darren and Dwayne Bravo. Ramdeen, Pollard, Darren Sammy, who's a captain, and Andre Russell, Sunil Narayan, Tino Best, and Badri. I think it's a pretty balanced team. West Indians we have seen what they've done in the World Cup.
They're the World Cup champions. 2020 World Cup champions. You're going to hand it to them. They deserve all the respect. They cannot be taken lightly by any team, not just Zimbabwe. Every team has to take them seriously here onwards.
I know the West Indies team struggled in past few years. We have seen their board struggling, but overall, the pick that you see now, the team that you see now, Amanath, it's a pretty balanced team. They are coming back in their one-dayers also. They haven't done really that well, Amanath, against any of the teams yet, any of the good test-playing nations yet. But again, it's a young team in rebuilding, and let's see how things go. But as of now, at the innings break, 130 for 8 Zimbabwe, and this match is being played in Antigua.
Vivian Richards' hometown.
Richards' hometown, Amanath. During the break, we were talking about test playing nations. We were talking about how Zimbabwe is not in one of the test playing nation. I also talked about Canada, and you brought up an issue about Scotland and Ireland also. That there's a push now. Go ahead.
Yes. The last team to be included into test playing status was Bangladesh.
Bangladesh, correct.
Then Zimbabwe got dropped out because of all the internal troubles they had. So if any team needs to come back to test playing status, the first one should be Zimbabwe. I think they might be playing a single test against West Indies to see how well they are shaping up. Playing test needs a lot of quality effort from the teams concerned.
How much ICC is involved?
No, ICC was the one which first suspended Zimbabwe and deprived them of test playing status, allowed them to play ODIs but not tests. I think now they've been lifted. They're allowed to play West Indies one test or so. But for Canada I think England is making a big push for Ireland and Scotland to come into the league of test-playing nations or into the elite league of playing with the others. I would say Ireland has been doing fairly well. In fact, a lot of the Irish players go off to England and play in the counties.
Yep.
And some of them have, like Ian Morgan, now plays for England.
Correct. Yeah, he's an Irish.
He's Irish. There's no reason why Ireland cannot be promoted to become a full-fledged nation in 5 years.
The Canadians also have a pretty good team, Amarnath.
Canadians, but they don't have the kind of regular playing which in Ireland and other countries have. They don't have the same level of infrastructure.
Zimbabweans are doing so well. If you look into in the last year or so, some of the players are performing well.
So I would. In fact, all the other associate countries need to perform on a consistent basis. In fact, there should be like a 4-day test match set up for them, and they should be sent out on tours to play the A teams of other countries.
That's what we were talking about, right? I said, there should be a system in place, Amarnath, like, for example, India A goes and plays a test against Zimbabwe or Canada or any other newer countries.
Or let them come and play here also. That way, talking of these associate countries, I would really prefer a team like Afghanistan getting their chance.
That is a team to watch out for, Amarnath.
Afghanistan needs all the encouragement by ICC to graduate to the next level. Yeah. In fact, if you take the Pathans of Pakistan and allow them to play for Afghanistan, you'll see Afghanistan having a very good team.
Amarnath, it was so good to see yesterday during the match between India and Australia at Hyderabad. Look at the crowd capacity for a test match. It was so good to see that, Amarnath.
You had a very decent turnout.
Yes, and now today being there, the second day being a Sunday, and India is batting.
And with the hope of Sachin batting, it'll be a full house.
It'll be a full house. And I think most, not only Sachin, but even the fans know that this will probably be the last time Sachin will be playing in Hyderabad.
Hyderabad doesn't get too many test matches, so in any case.
In any case, just like as in Chennai, fans knew that. I mean, they were cheering him for every ball that he was stopping, or even in Hyderabad I saw them do that.
I'm almost certain if you see the 20 years of cricket which India had from Sachin 89 say to 2014.
Somebody like Bhuvi, he wasn't even born that time.
Yes, and he's playing with him.
Sachin was
he grew up watching Sachin.
Indeed.
It's really amazing to see the longevity.
If we're talking about Bhuvi, you had a pretty interesting comment about him and Duncan Fletcher.
See, I think Bhuvi has really benefited from all the coaching which and mentoring which Duncan Fletcher and others have done. Duncan Fletcher is very good with young players.
We saw that what he did in England. He wasn't liked for that.
But now, this is a new Indian team coming into play. He came in a time when the older players were all retiring or on their graph when it was down. Now you see, India's got all young players like Virat Kohli, Cheteshwar Pujara, Ashwin, and now you've got Bhunesh Kumar. I would say Duncan Fletcher will be able to deliver a much better product with all these youngsters who won't have any hang-ups. I was very impressed with Bhunesh Kumar's bowling. He didn't seem to mind getting hit initially by Watson, and he kept pegging at him. You could see the body language. At not once did he flinch, and I think that counts a lot. My only concern about Bhunesh Kumar is his physical fitness. He looks too thin and scrawny. He needs to put on weight and muscle if he wants to take big workloads. To take big workloads, he needs to become a bigger boy.
Amarnath, just a few weeks ago, we talked about some of the pacers from the past few years. Srishant, we talked about, obviously we talked about Zaheer Khan and how difficult it has become for a lot of these pacers to make a comeback. Munaf Patel, again, with injuries. Srishant, again, he was also nursing an injury. Vinay Kumar, at some time, he was going to come, nothing happened. Praveen Kumar,
he has a lot of issues.
A lot of issues going on right now. He's off the field also. He's got a lot of issues that he's working out with. Great talent, Amarnath. He's got the ability to swing the ball both the ways, and I think he's a great find for Team India also. Now with Shami Ahmed,
most certainly,
Bhuvaneshwar Kumar,
yes,
and likes of them. I think so. It has become a very tough competition.
See, we need to have a roster of at least 15 bowlers from which we can choose 3 consistently. Have 15 bowlers who are available, who can represent India. And give them an extended run, provided they are physically fit.
Amarnath, will move on to our next topic of discussion, South Africa versus Pakistan.
Okay, which is now in the 2020 stage.
Exactly. And the match, I guess the first match was abandoned because of the rain.
Yeah.
But Pakistan, after losing the test series 3-0, something to look forward for. I think as far as Pakistani camp is concerned, what is your take, Amarnath? After losing 3-0 test series to South Africa, once again, I mean, this is a new format. It's a different format, T20 and the one-dayers at the same time. But your take on Pakistan's current situation?
I would expect them to win the T20 match. They are very good T20 players. Coming to the ODI, I would say they'll give a good run for the money. It's not going to be a whitewash like how the test matches were. Test matches are truly a test of endurance. And it was a well-known fact that Pakistan's batting was its weakest point.
It looked like, yes.
And Pakistan
it turned out that way also.
And Pakistan bowled very well. In all the 3 test matches, they were in the hunt. They bowled very well. We have to give full credit to Pakistan's bowling. It is Pakistan's batting which has been suspect, and that's where we are going to see how will they improve. But in one-day matches, it's a different story. And I would expect Pakistan to acquit themselves quite well. It'll be closely contested, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win a couple of matches.
England's been having a great time in New Zealand, Amarnath. In fact, they had a great time in India. Now they are in the Kiwi land. Go ahead.
And I predicted they would win the one-day series.
Yes, you did.
And 2-1, they won that. They won the 2020 series as well. My feeling is if rain doesn't play a spoil sport, they are likely to win the test series as well.
Dunedin will host the first test match beginning on March 6th through 10th. New Zealand versus England. The second test will be played at Wellington. That will begin on March 14th. And the third test is at Auckland, March 22nd. Both the teams are coming, playing with some great momentum. New Zealand doing so well against South Africa in the one-dayers.
But in test matches, I would say England is got a very settled team.
Absolutely, after defeating India in India.
And also, they have got the batting and the bowling.
I think this team has shaped up so well under Alistair Cook and Andy Flower. I think they have been doing so well in just about any country that they're playing at.
See, they have the bowlers to take the wickets. Batsmen can save matches. It's bowlers who win matches.
Yes. Heard that from day one, Amarnath.
And Kumble was the one who said, everybody remembers only Sachin's centuries, but it's the bowlers who win the games. And, you need both Sachin and Kumble to win a test match.
This will be a great contest also. England playing against New Zealand. And as Amarnath also mentioned that before even the series started, that this will be a great series to watch out for also. Amarnath, I know we have the last few minutes. I wanted to keep it for India and Australia again. I wanted to circle back on India and Australia. I know we talked about Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Duncan Fletcher, but the Duncan Fletcher style of coaching, we have seen that it was so evident in England when Fletcher was a coach there. He was not liked by many because of his dictatorship sort of a approach. But look what he has done to Team England. Some of the players that he brought in,
they have delivered.
They have delivered, and I think same thing is happening for Team India also, Amarnath.
I think if India acquits themselves well against Australia and can continue. Remember, India is going to South Africa next year.
Yes.
So keeping that in mind, if India can not get whitewashed in South Africa, give a good run for the money, then he would have earned his right to get renewed. If India again gets wiped out in South Africa, then it'll be a different story.
Now from Hyderabad, both the teams will head to Mohali, which is much more pace-friendly wicket. Australians will love that.
Yes.
And there's going to be a test match that will be played in Mohali, and then they come back to Firoz Shah Kotla in Delhi which is considerably a slower pitch, Amarnath.
So it's very important if as part of the Indians' brain trust, India should go all out to win this test match so that they cannot lose the series. Because in Mohali, Australia has a chance. They have got the horses, the bowlers to take wickets. I cannot see Australian bowlers in Hyderabad taking 20 Indian wickets. But I can see Australia taking 20 wickets in Mohali. It's quite possible they can win the match there. So that's why it's very important for India to win this test match and make sure that they are in a zone of comfort. And so that even if they can draw in Mohali, they win the series.
Radio Delhi, you're live on air. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm Deepak from Maryland.
Hi, Deepak. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Welcome, Deepak.
Hi. How are you?
Fantastic. Go ahead, Deepak.
Yeah, I'm just one thing about this Australia-India test. Why Dhoni is so much dependent on Ashwin?
I have a few things to say, but I'm going to let Amarnath respond to that first.
Dhoni depended on Ashwin in the first test, which was reasonable. It was his home wicket. But in Hyderabad, that was his home wicket in the first test match in Chepauk, which is understandable. He knows that pitch very well. And if you see in yesterday's game, in fact, he bowled the least, even lesser than even Jadeja. He has given the ball much lesser than even Jadeja. And of course, he didn't do all that well. So he didn't deserve to get the ball.
Deepak, initially I was speaking with Amarnath before the show also that I was expecting Ojha to play because Ojha is, Hyderabad is his hometown. And if you, in the previous test against New Zealand, Ojha performed brilliantly.
True.
In that match.
But he would have come in only for Harbhajan.
Exactly.
I think as long as Dhoni is around, Ravi Chandra, Ashwin will be all.
Join the club, Deepak. Join the club.
Well, there are so many theories.
Join the club. I think this sentiment is across the board, Amarnath. Anybody you talk to, that's exactly what they'll tell you.
Everybody comes and tell.
I'm not against this. I'm not against this boy, but They just throw away the Harbhajan like a piece of paper that is garbage now. He's a seasoned bowler too. Well, he was not in the form. I can understand that, but
I guess not only Ashwin. You can talk about Raina. You can talk about Ravindra Jadeja.
Many of them.
Yeah.
But they are from his team, Chennai.
Chennai Super Kings.
Well, you can even go. Why only Dhoni? Why only Dhoni you're talking about? Let's talk about Srinivas.
Well, I understand, but that Ashwin hits me a lot rather than anybody else.
Deepak, I'm so glad you brought that up because we have this discussion all the time.
No, because Ashwin, but for
every time I watch this match, and I just said, "This is not right."
Did you see Bhuvaneshwar ball? Did you get a chance to see Bhuvaneshwar ball last time?
Yes, I saw the first 4 wickets, and then I went to sleep.
Okay,
but I think that was the best.
It was a very good spell. It was absolutely the first 9 overs that Bhuvaneshwar bowled. I have not seen any Indian bowlers troubling Australians that much. He bowled brilliantly. Correct. Well, Deepak, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate that.
Please keep listening and calling too.
Deepak has been our listener for not now. He's been listening to our shows. He's been a participant on our show many years ago also. So thank you so much. We do appreciate that, Deepak. Yes, good point.
That's a good point. Why is Ashwin getting so much of chances?
Amarnath, this is not the first time I have heard that in last few days. In fact, yesterday also I was talking to some of the friends back home. And the topic of the discussion was Ashwin. Yes, in Chennai, definitely being his home ground is justifiable. But Ojha not playing again. I'm still toiling on that.
No, he had to come in instead of Harbhajan. As simple as that. So, would you like to have 2 left-hand spinners in a game? Or
I would have kept Bhaji out definitely. I mean, I would have loved to see Ojha, and given his track record, given he has taken considerably amount of good wickets against the teams, and especially in Hyderabad, he's got a terrific record. So, being a home ground, I think Ojha should have gotten a chance.
But then, are you going to drop a 100-match veteran to give a local boy a chance?
He's a wicket taker.
Well, see, it's not easy to drop a 100-match winner, 100-match player, and who didn't do too badly in Chennai. See, that's where you have got to keep sentiments on the side and said, Dhoni doesn't like to disturb a winning combination. As simple as that.
Oh, that is very evident.
And most teams will do that. If we have won, okay. Unless he did badly. I can't say Bhaji played badly in Chennai. He may not have won the match like how Ashwin did, but he didn't do badly.
Amanath, in coming weeks, we will definitely have a lot more to talk about India and Australia, because by the time we go on air next week, they would have already started the third test.
Yes.
And plus, we'll have enough to talk about from this test, and it will be good to see the team formation in Mohali. Being a pace-friendly wicket, what are the Indian options as far as the pace department is concerned now? Ishant is there, Ishant Sharma, who's a wicketless for last almost 50 odd some overs. He hasn't taken a wicket yet since last year. Then you have Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, who
he has earned a place in the team.
He's earned a place, so you know that Bhuvaneshwar Kumar will definitely get a go at Mohali. Who's the third pacer? Besides these two, who else does India have that they can...
But does India need a third pacer? If two fast bowlers can deliver the job, why have a third pacer?
Let's see what happens in Mohali. Well, I have my doubts. I have my doubts. Go ahead.
No, but it'll to an extent depend upon which of the spinners do well in this test match.
Well, one thing is for sure, if Vijay fails to do anything in this match,
he's gone.
He's gone now. I think this time he's going to be gone for good.
I think if he doesn't score...
Rahane is knocking on the door already.
Shikhar Dhawan
is there. And I think, especially I wouldn't be surprised to see Dhawan making a debut either in Mohali or Delhi, because understand this: Dhawan plays in Delhi. He plays for Delhi, and he's got a superb rapport with Sehwag also, being a Delhi boy.
But then Sehwag also has to deliver. As simple as that.
Sehwag also has to deliver. I do agree.
See, till now, everybody kept talking about Sehwag having an average of 50 in test matches.
You know what?
He no longer has that.
You know what? I follow domestic cricket as much as you do. And when you're watching Vijay play in domestic matches, he's terrific. He's got such a great talent, and that's the reason why they bring him back to the Indian side.
But apart from his batting, he's a very good fielder.
He's a very good fielder. There's no doubt about that. But what happens to him when he's facing opponents, international teams? He just something happens to him.
He has not delivered.
Like Rohit Sharma. Anybody you talk in the domestic circuit, people have the highest regard for Sharma. Anybody you talk to, they will always say he's one of the hardest working players. First one to come at the nest and the last one to leave the stadium. Tremendous amount of talent, scores everywhere. But when they start facing international teams, something goes wrong to them. Something goes wrong with them.
That's something called temperament. You need the temperament to rise to the occasion. Okay.
Well, I cannot wait for Dhawan and Ajinkya to start making their debut. Let's see what happens. Let's see how long it took for Pujara to make a debut.
But then he grabbed it with both of his hands and has been scoring consistently. He has not given the selectors any reason to drop him.
Amanath, we can go on and on this one. Unfortunately, that's all the time we had left for today.
Okay.
Friends, you were listening to Full Toss. This is your host, Amit, along with Amanath on Radio Dil. And also want to thank Deepak from Maryland for joining us on the show. A big thank you to you from the Full Toss crew. And we are also listeners. By the way, listeners can catch a recording of this show on our YouTube channel by
tonight or tomorrow morning.
Just go to YouTube, type in Full Toss Cricket Show, and any of our previous shows you can listen to them. Amanath has segmented it so superbly, so you can catch that show. Listeners can also log on to our blog, fulltosscricket.com. Amanath.
Sure.
That's where you will find Amanath's fundamental analysis. We have a Did You Knows and a lot of other feeds that are associated with that blog also. Friends, thank you so much for giving us your support for so long. We appreciate you supporting us on our YouTube channel, and especially those of our listeners who are subscribing to us on YouTube. And on a weekly basis, we have so many hits on our YouTube channel, so I want to personally thank them for supporting our show.
True.
And above all, Amanath, I want to thank you for your expertise, your knowledge you bring to this table. It makes it absolutely much more interesting.
It's a pleasure always being here and talking cricket.
And we'll be back here next Saturday afternoon, same time, 2 to 3. Till then, everybody have a fantastic weekend. I'll be back here for my show Ek Pal on Wednesday. That is 12-1. So we'll see you on next. Both Amarnath and we'll see you on Saturday. Next Saturday, I'll be here on Wednesday. Take care, everybody.